With all the knowledge we gained over the last lectures, we are nearing the end of this module now. You now know pretty much all the key features you have to know about registering routes, loading components, and navigating. But there are two other nice features which can help you provide the user experience you want to provide. And that will be controlling the scroll behavior of your pages and navigation guards. Now let's start with controlling the scrolling behavior. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say we're on the Teams page, we load our team here, and then I scroll down so that I can load the client consulting team. If I click that, of course the component updates, but I have to scroll up there to see that. Maybe we want to scroll up there automatically when we switch the route here. That could be something we might want to do. In general, maybe, whenever we switch a route, we want to scroll to top so that the user always sees the full new page and isn't stuck somewhere down the page. And that's something we can add with the View router. In main.js, where we create our router, besides registering all those routes and then setting some global config like the link active class, you can also add a scroll behavior property. That scroll behavior property actually is a method. A method which will be called by the View router whenever your page changes. And this scroll behavior method will then receive three arguments automatically: a to, a from, and a saved position argument. Now you can name them however you want, but that is what will be in there. But what is to, from, and saved position? Well, let's simply log this. Let's log to, from, and saved position. And save this. Now I reload and I click on a link here. And you see I get this logged to the console. Actually, we already got it when I first loaded this page. To and from in the end are route objects. To and from basically are what you also get with this route inside of a component. To and from are the pages we're going to and we're coming from. So when I first load this page, the page we're going to is having this full path, which this path without the query parameter and so on. It has this params object, the query object, and this is exactly the kind of object you would get with this $sign route inside of the component that is loaded. And we're coming from this path. It's pretty much all empty because I just loaded the page. If I clear the console and I click a link, you see this looks different. Now we're going to this path with a parameter of t2, and the route we're coming from has a parameter of t1. And saved position is null here because saved position is only set if you're using the back button. Then you see saved position is actually an object with a left and a top property describing where the user scrolled to when this page you just went back to was left. So for example, if I scroll all the way down and I go to a different page and I go back, then this scroll position, which is saved here, is the scroll position I had when I left this page before I clicked the back button. Now, how can this all be useful? Well, this scroll behavior method should return an object describing where the browser should scroll to upon the page change. And here, the object you return should have a left and a top property. So just as the saved position has it when it is available. And if you, for example, set left to 0 and top to 0, that means that you want to scroll all the way to the top of the page. So if I always return this, and I, for the moment, still console log to, from, and saved position so that my IDE doesn't complain about these being unused. So if I log that, but we always return this object, the effect is that if I scroll down and switch to a different page, we jump to the top. And that's exactly the behavior I want here. Now, of course, on the other hand, if we go back, I might want to go back down here so that I really go back not just to the page we're coming from, but also to the place on the page we were on. And that's now where the saved position comes in handy, because that is saving the exact place we were scrolled to. So we can tweak this and check if saved position exists, so if it is not null, and if that's the case, we return the saved position. So that, for example, if we do go back, we use the saved position instead of jumping to the top. But if saved position does not exist, we do jump to the top. And with that, if I save that and reload, I can go to my teams, load a team, scroll down, jump to the top. But if I now click back, I'm scrolled down again. And that can, of course, enhance the user experience, because now we scroll the user to the place where he or she is able to see exactly the content that we want to present at this moment.